What does an employer need to include in the right to disconnect policy? My name is Tanya Sambi, and I am a lawyer with Minken Employment Lawyers. The short answer is there is very little that is required by law to go into the policy. First, let's look at who the policy applies to. Under the Employment Standards Act 2000, certain categories of employees, such as managers or professionals, are exempt from requirements to provide overtime pay. Currently, as the law is written, the right to disconnect policy applies to everyone, including managers. So, an employer must have a policy that applies to all their employees. Now, what does the law say the policy has to include? Well, as the law is currently written, the policy, number 1, must be with respect to disconnecting from work. Number 2, must include the date the policy was prepared. Number 3, must include the date any changes were made to the policy. And number 4, must contain information as may be prescribed. But what does as prescribed mean? It means that the policy has to include the information required under regulations. But what regulations? There are currently none. Therefore, employers currently have full discretion as to what's included in this policy. So as long as the policy is with respect to disconnecting from work, includes the date it was prepared, and the date that any changes were made, it will likely pass muster. For example, a policy that states employees are required to disconnect from work after they have completed all their work, even if it is after a 10 to 12-hour shift, will likely comply with the Employment Standards Act. And as a reminder, employers with 25 or more employees have until June 2nd, 2022 to have this written policy in place, and then until July 2nd, 2022 to distribute this written policy to all employees. Tune in next time where we discuss more on the right to disconnect policy. Thank you so much for tuning into Minken Employment Lawyers. If anything that we spoke about today sounds like something you are dealing with, please contact myself or one of the other experienced lawyers at Minken Employment Lawyers. We'd be happy to assist. Please go to our website and check out our employer guides, blog posts, and articles. Be sure to sign up for our newsletter.